everyone, and welcome to Chase's Org Thingy, Season 6, Episode 7 at this point. So we are down to the final 18, and it is that time again for Pancake to decide if we swap or not. And this is a big decision, because if we don't swap, we're staying the same at 17. If we do, we still stay the same at 17. But that would mean that the same tribes would be together for 5 rounds straight, or if we switch things up, we would have new tribes for the next 2 rounds. Well, 50-50 swap, stay, and Soccer plays 1 influence to swap, and Pancake decides that we are going to swap. So, we are at final 18, so we can either go to 2 tribes or 3 tribes, and Pancake chose 2 tribes. So, our tribes are the Pantheon Tribe and Toaster's Bitches again. So on Pantheon, I'm looking at my whiteboard, so that's why my vision is down there. On the Pantheon Tribe, we have Jay, Asher, Chase, JB, Nevid, Nathan, Soccer, Jace, and Joey. And this is a very interesting tribe because first off, the JB, Evan, and Deku alliance is now broken apart, and JB is left all alone. We also have Asher, Chase, Soccer, and Joey back again as a tight 4. That also means that the Asher, Chase, and Soccer alliance that a lot of people are worried about is still out there. We have Jace in there, who was backstabbed by JB, and who Soccer wants out very badly, especially after this Oxy vote. So Soccer is talking about wanting to lose this challenge to vote out Jace. We also have Jay, who a lot of people are worried are a threat, namely Nathan and Soccer. We have Nathan, who, as I said before, wants Jay out. And then we have Nevid, who's there. Like, Nevid, I love you, but he's just kind of going with the flow. Then on Toaster's Bitches, we have Bayback, Bing, Jack, Joffy, Toaster, Moth God, Evan, Deku, and Cosmo. So, also, Cosmo and Jay separated for the first time in this game. We have Deku and Evan back again. We have Toaster and Joffy there, even though Joffy voted for Toaster. They have historically worked together. Bayback and Nathan are split apart again. Bing is just kind of vibing. Jack is kind of vibing. And then Moth God just got blindsided in the last vote with Oxy going home, so he's a little bit mad. This also marks the second time that Moth God has been blindsided and then swapped. So Moth God's just kind of hanging on by a thread. But he's made some connections. Him and Toaster have gotten somewhat close. And Moth is hanging in there socially. But he's kind of not a part of many people's plans for long term. So both of these tribes should be really interesting to see what happens when they go to Tribal Council. So Soccer is happening. So this challenge is a live challenge, and basically it's a turn-based move, so you have 5 health and then you have to move 10 spaces, and whoever gets to the end first, or whoever stays alive longest, wins. But Soccer is very clearly trying to throw this challenge, and he's doing it in the tribe chat, and he's trying to convince people to do the wrong move. I just got the notification they didn't go with the wrong move. And Joey just said to Soccer, "You're being way too obvious. Stop." This is literally happening as I'm doing this, just popping up on my phone. JB has already said in confessionals, Soccer's trying to throw the challenge. So everyone realizes Soccer's trying to throw. He's not being subtle about it at all, and that could come back to bite him in the butt. But we will see what happens, because they're going to tie right now. They're going to go into a tiebreaker. So let's see which tribe loses. Alright, so it is tied now, and they're going to a death match, which means that if both tribes tie again, they're both going to Tribal Council. So this should be an interesting game of chicken to watch play. Because I'll explain the challenge a bit more, because I just realized that I didn't really explain it that well in the last challenge. So, every tribe has a kayak, and they are trying to make it to shore before the other tribe, or they're trying to be the last kayak standing. They can do one of 5 moves. They can either attack and do 2 points of damage out of the 5, They can defend, and that means that however much damage is sent, they will take 0 damage. They can engage, meaning they move forward 1 space, or attack 1. They can deflect, meaning they go forward 1 space and deflect 1 damage. Or I think you can move forward 2 spaces, not do anything. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. And they both chose to barrage and do 2 points of damage, not defend any of it. For first 2 rounds, third round, they both engage, which is move forward 1, attack 1. So now they're going to the death match, which is 5 spaces away from shore and 3 health. But if they both tie again, they both go to tribal council. So this should be interesting to see what happens. So production kind of screwed up a bit on this challenge. We realized that with 2 tribes and with the movements that we had in place, it was basically impossible for one tribe to win and for them to not tie if they both did it correctly and no one screw up or purposely threw. So we announced that if they tied again on this death match, instead of going to tribal council, we changed it so that they would just get a new challenge, because it's only been going on for like an hour and a half, so it wouldn't screw anyone over to do a new challenge. So in the first round, they both barraged again, meaning they attacked for 2 damage, and they only had 3 health, so they both went down to 1. So what you do here is you engage. You move forward 1 and attack 1, so that way you get rid of the rest of their health, and you move a space forward. However, if you are soccer, you try to throw the challenge, and you have your ally, Joey, go into the chat and go, well, we still have 3 HP left, we just barrage, right? And then Soccer just pings me and goes, barrage, we're barraging. Meaning that the tribe submitted. So Soccer submitted for the tribe without asking for approval to barrage. Meaning that Toaster's bitches went forward 1 space and got rid of their 1 HP. And Pantheon got rid of 2 of their HP. But because the Toaster's bitches were farther, ironically enough, Toaster's won in the water, Pantheon ended up going to tribal council because Soccer threw. And now people seem to be pretty pissed at Soccer. So Soccer's name may be out there. He may get voted off for this. But at the same time, it's Soccer. So who the hell knows what's going to happen? So Soccer is continuing to go sicko mode. It has not even been 30 minutes since Tribal has begun, and he already has a plan. His plan is going to be to tell JB, Jay, and Chase to vote for Jace. Then he is going to have himself, Joey, Asher, Nathan, and Nevid vote for Jay, and then Jace is just going to vote for whoever. So he originally wanted to get out Jace, but now he wants to get out Jay, but he's worried that JB is going to be pissed that Jay is gone, and that could make his life complicated in the future, and that they might have to vote out JB after Jay. But right now, Joey and Soccer are really focusing heavily on getting Jay out of the game, and they're just making a group chat and just now starting to talk to people. They don't want, obviously, Jay to know, but they don't want JB or Chase to know either. And so Soccer is towing a very dangerous line here. As I said, it's like 30 minutes before or after Tribal has started, and the tribe swap was not even 2 hours ago. So this challenge went by quick, and they were immediately put in tribes and immediately put into Tribal. So we will see what happens with this now, but this is really interesting to watch go down. Okay, so some stuff is going down with the vote a little bit. So right now, as I said before, Soccer is wanting to vote Jay out, and he's trying to tell JB and Chase that it is a vote for Jace. He's also telling Jay this too, obviously, but of course he's going to tell Jay a different name, and they're just kind of leaving Jace out of it. Well, Jace is now making a plan to try and blindside Joey. So Jace is trying to rope in Jay, Nevid, and Soccer for this as well, and he's also trying to get in JB. Well, JB and Jay have already had conversations about not wanting to vote out Joey, because JB saying, look, I don't want to screw your game over by voting out Jace, but Jace doesn't help my game, and Joey does. So she's not wanting to vote out Joey, and Soccer is pretending to want to vote out Joey, even though he doesn't. Obviously, Joey's like his closest ally, basically, right now. And then you also have Nevid, who is going, I don't really know which way to vote, but he's currently written down Jay's name as a placeholder vote. So that might change in the future, but right now it's looking like there is a movement to try and blindside Joey, but the majority seems to still be onto Jay. So I would have to guess that Jay is going to go home at this tribal council. But it's really up in the air for right now. So it could potentially gain some traction onto Joey. It is a possibility. But right now, I think the safest bet would be that Jay's going home. But hey, what do I know? Maybe stuff will change last minute. It's not the first time things have changed in the last minutes of a Survivor vote. Okay, so Bayback is finally going to be using his walkie-talkie advantage in this game. So just a reminder, the walkie-talkie lets you cross-tribe. And so far, he hasn't cross-tribed with anyone except for Nathan for this round, because Nathan was the one he told. Well, Nathan is telling him that the vote is on Jay. And Bayback doesn't want it to be on Jay. And Nathan told him the entire plan and that JB was left out of the loop. So Bayback is going to walkie-talkie to JB and tell her everything. Tell her that she's out of the plan and that there is a vote onto Jay for this round. So shit could hit the fan real quick. But JB is also busy today and has rehearsals. So she may not have the time to act upon it. So this also very much so complicates everything. Asher also said before that he's voting for Jay, but because he was willing to go for Joey, but okay, words. I'm gonna restart this. Asher was willing to vote for Joey, but because Jay didn't come to him with the plan to vote for Joey, he's not going to flip onto Soccer and Joey, and instead is going to work with them. So there is a possibility Joey goes home, but I still think majority is going to be onto Jay. But there is a better than 0% chance that Joey goes home for this next round. So Bayback is now deleting the messages that he sent to JB and is messaging Jay instead. So Bayback is now telling Jay that there's a plan on him, and that JB is being left out of it. So could have just messaged both of them, but hey, where's the fun in that, right? So we'll see what happens now that he's messaging Jay, who's way more capable of responding because he has way more free time today than JB does. So probably a smarter decision, but he could have also just done both of them. So Jay found out, and now everyone is freaking the hell out. Soccer and Joey are freaking out, Jay's freaking out, and they all think that Nevid was the leak. So Joey is heavily considering playing a safety without power and telling Soccer to play as idle. All of this is still developing as I'm saying this, so I don't know what's going to happen or what has happened. But basically Jay found out and people are flipping their shit. Okay, Joey did not play the safety without power, but he did play his extra vote, so he is now putting down 2 votes onto Jay. So that was my bad. I thought he was talking about the safety without power, not the extra vote. Things are going 1,000 miles a minute. So I I still don't know what is about to happen, but the extra vote might seal the deal for Jay, but I'm not sure. They're trying to flip Asher currently. Bayback is saying that Jay needs to try and flip Asher overboard, and he's not telling Jay who told him, but he also just doesn't want to let Jay drown. And he did delete the messages sent to JB and messaged Jay instead, but JB saw the messages, like the notification for the messages, so she asked if he DM'd her, and he just caved and gave her the information that he had the walkie-talkie. So, that is what has happened literally within the last 2 minutes of me making that last video. Joey is now trying to talk to Soccer and say, I want to go into the tribal chat and tell people I have an idol, to which Soccer is going, please do not do that. Whatever you do, don't. I have the idol, and I will play it on you if we need to. But do not tell people that. Do not throw away your game. Basically, Joey and Soccer's relationship in this game is kind of like a father-son duo. Joey is just going to Soccer with all these ideas of like, let me blow up tribal council, and Soccer's just like, no, don't, and Joey's like, okay, Dad. And Joey's playing the game too, like, he's not being a goat. It's just funny that all of the time he's coming up with, do I go in tribe chat and say that I have an idol? Soccer's going, no. Ark is telling me names, and he's telling everyone else names. Do I call him out on tribal council? Soccer goes, no. Should we do this? Soccer goes, no. And it's just him being like, okay, I won't. But, like, I just imagine it with that intensity of, like, an intense 7-year-old, you know? Of, like, do I want to do this? No. Okay, I won't. Thanks, Dad. Like, and I love Joey too. I'm not trying to throw shade on Joey at all. He's playing really well. I realize that I'm totally making fun of him. I just find that dynamic hilarious. And I feel like that's more insight to you guys. But basically, right now, Soccer has run this entire pre-merge without any hitches until this point. So, kudos to Soccer. Let's see what happens. Joey is now unsubmitting his extra vote and is transferring it to Soccer instead. So now Soccer has an extra vote, and Soccer is asking, can I use it and vote Jay? That is happening live time, so Soccer has now played that extra vote onto Jay. So this tribal is going so fast and is so chaotic, and I love it. So now Soccer made an alliance chat of everyone but Nevid. So now the 5 that was on Jay does not believe Nevid, and Bayback just put in his confessional, this is fun. That's what I was laughing at. I love getting involved in other families' drama. This is live as confessionals are rolling in too, 'cause I'm on my phone. So Bayback caused all this drama. They think that Nevid was the leak of it, so they're starting to turn on Nevid, but they're still voting for Jay and not Nevid. But Joey was the one that said he was tight with Nevid, so now they're thinking that Joey had a bad read on the situation. It's hit the fan so hard. This is one of the most chaotic rounds I've ever seen in a pre-merge, if not the most chaotic pre-merge vote I've ever seen. I have no idea what's about to happen. I don't know what is happening. So Bayback goes to Asher and comes clean about it, and he tells Asher, I have a walkie-talkie, and I told Jay, Devin didn't do anything, or Nevid, his real name's Devin. Nevid didn't do anything, so I'm the one that caused the chaos, and I'm sorry. So now Asher goes to his alliance chat and tells them this, to which they're all like, what the hell, Bayback? So, Bayback just blew up, like, 7 people's games all in one, and somehow the only person who was affected by it, I think, will be him, and maybe not even him. So this past hour of chaos has just kind of been a nice little sprinkle of action for the spectators and for me. but it doesn't seem like it's going to amount to anything. So Jay is probably going to go home, and Soccer is probably going to waste an extra vote on voting for Jay. But he may unplay it. I mean, you can unplay advantages just as until the votes are read. So we'll see what happens. Alright, so the tribal has ended, and since the last update, one thing has really happened. JB and Soccer got into a pretty big fight argument about the J vote. So JB found out about the J vote before it happened, and her and Soccer had made a deal where they will both name one person that they do not want to get voted out and that they want to keep in the game, and the other one won't target that person. Well, JB named Jay for that person, and Soccer named Joey. So when Jay and Jace were going after Joey, JB was actively trying to work for a nice middle ground to not go for Joey. And then when and then on her vantage point, she told Soccer that she does not want to vote Jay, that's the one person she wants to keep, and Soccer immediately targets Jay. So this created a bunch of tension between the two of them, and they got into a big fight and argument about it. But at the end of the day, the votes came in, and an extra vote was used by Soccer, but it was wasted because it was a 9-1 vote onto Jay. 9 votes onto Jay because of the extra vote. So Jay, GG's, my second place comrade. The cursed placement of second place. Chase the second place club. Let's go. GG's, Jay. For the first time, you have been voted out of Chase org thingy. Played a great game, and sad to see you go. But anyways, guys, that's the end of this episode. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in episode 8.